that on the show very often. So it's nice to kind of see you moving and grooving early in the day. I, of course, am Gutsy Picks Cash. To my left, Sum's right. DB from the Tour Junkies, America's favorite junkie. How you doing today, buddy?
How we doing? Good, man. Good. It's December, holidays in the air. We're looking nice. You and me, we got a blue vibe going. You know what? I was watching the intro video, which still it slaps. It still slaps
every single time.
And shout out Bryce, maybe.
Thank you.
But the set development of yourself is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to watch, to see where we were, where we come from. You started out, I didn't know if I was talking to a kid who might have been, being sex trafficked somewhere in some dark, weird house, or maybe just live streaming from the top bunk of his bunk bed at his mom's house or something. It was very strange. And now look at you. I mean, you look like this looks like a Thea Vaughn set, or you're on Rogan or something.
It looks so good. And yes, shout out Bryce. Shout out Ron.
Yeah.
Shout out Ron.
You can give Ron some credit, sure.
Shout out Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out me. What?
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, as always, Bryce on the ones and twos. Bryce, you still have that camera on you? Oh, yes, you do. How about that? Right there. Bingo. Oh, little offset. Whoa, a little off-centered. What happened? What happened there? We were just on the show. What happened?
I screwed my chair over.
Yeah, I'll go right back to you now. One more back to you. Bryce on the ones and twos. That's a big zoom shot, too. Was it that zoomed in last show?
I'm small in the other show.
I can see an ingrown hair up Bryce's nose.
That is a fucking in tight shot right there. But shout out Bryce to the ones and twos. And shout out me for supplying some awesome stuff for.
Yeah. Talked a little bit about that last week.
Great glove.
Just
another legendary book of mine. I can put something here, but usually I'm like covering it. It really doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the sickest things ever, Pete Rose autograph.
Shout out Pete Rose. Yeah.
But no, it's looking great. And I don't know if you watched the Pat McAfee show over the last couple of days, but
I've been in New York.
Yeah, that studio is
it's money.
Nasty. That is a nasty studio. Did you happen to listen to the Aaron Rodgers interview today?
I listened to parts of it. I tell you one thing I was going to say is, I love my boy Pat, but dude, hard for me to get past what he did on game day when he picked the Georgia-Bama game. And then, he kind of went in on it again. He went in on the Georgia fans. I think it was today, talking about how, they gave him a bunch of hell for signing the big deal to ESPN and David Pollack getting kicked off the game day set. And he kind of said, you guys can go to hell with all the hate I've been getting. And listen, a number of things. I respect the hell out of McAfee for calling that shit out, because I don't blame McAfee for, it's not McAfee's job that he's amazing and ESPN wanted him. They had to figure it out and they cut who they cut, and it is what it is. That's business, baby. Who cares? Like, if you're trolling him for that, you're stupid. Number two, I love David Pollack. Huge dog. And number three, I also, even though you're stupid and you're trolling McAfee for that, mad respect to you for being a diehard red and black Georgia Bulldog fan, so much so that you would bash Pat McAfee for David Pollack's firing. And then kudos again to Pat for telling those people to go to hell. But it still really sucked to see how he did us on game day. It was brutal. I was watching live, doing the, we're the meme machine in a red and black, doing the chant, ready to go. Yeah. And I was just like pumped, and I was amped, and then he just went Bama.
I mean, when he dropped the Bama pick, right? I'm telling you, that was one of the funniest moments. And I love Kirk Herbstreit. And Pat has almost elevated Kirk Herbstreit. Like, he's almost like, I don't want to say
him out. He's like bringing out the personality.
He broke Kirk out of his shell. Like, even all the little things that he is, like when Kirk, I don't even know how it started, but it's the most perfect thing ever. When Kirk basically is rooting against the people, all the kids who get to kick for like $100,000, and like Kirk is going against them, and Kirk is making fun of them when they miss. He's roasting them before they go up there about how they don't have a chance of making it. Like, that's not happening unless Pat is there.
Yeah,
like it's a beautiful thing to see, because even when Kirk does the Thursday night games, I don't know if you watch all the Thursday night NFL games or listen.
Try not to. They're
right?
Terrible.
Well, Al Michaels, he's basically, he's hung it up, right?
Yeah.
Al Michaels has hung it up.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10 touchdown. It's not even. And by the way, that was on an 85-yard punt return. Like, I didn't even know, right? And that's Al Michaels has fucking hung it up. And you could tell that Kirk he does well on those games, but he's kind of just going with the flow, letting Al kind of just say whatever he wants to say. I every single Saturday look so forward to watching or rewatching the college football game day because of Pat McAfee and Kirk Herbstreit. They're fucking hilarious.
And you guys know this about me, but maybe the viewers do not. Like,
Sure.
I have a list of content creators that I love. I take in from a wide range of sports to comedy to news to whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the top two, number 1 and number 2 on my list, just before number 3, Mr. Gutsy Picks Cash.
Of course.
The top 2 on my list were front and center picking on College Game Day when Theo Vaughn got up there, because you guys know I'm a huge Theo Vaughn fan.
Yep,
so,
of course.
I mean, it was incredible. He did not disappoint. I also really enjoyed Lee Corso's brain being even further broken. God bless the man, but geez, like, I mean, Lee Corso listening to Theo was just like, I mean, poor guy. Like, I don't know that Lee's probably still recovered from what, him picking Toledo based on a tetanus shot he got there one time. Like, that was so entertaining. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
To have Pat and Theo side by side, like, those are my two. That's number 1 and number 2 for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Lee Corso didn't know what to think of what Theo Vaughn was saying. So it was so fucking funny. And I don't even know why Theo was on. Like, why was Theo even on?
Apparently, he had a show. He did a show in Atlanta that night, the night before. I think it was a late edition, but he did a comedy show in Atlanta. I think maybe a night or 2 nights in a row. And I mean, he's huge right now, dude. Like, Theo is exploding right now.
Yeah,
he's everywhere.
100%. Dude, right before the show I was on before this, right before that show, I was like just going through TikTok. This random TikTok popped up, and it was just a guy. He was like, greatest video I've ever taken. And he was in the back of the end zone just walking. And then Theo was walking past him. He goes, "Hey, Theo, big fan. Could you say hi to Taylor?" And he goes, "Why? What's wrong with him?" He goes, "It's a girl." And he goes, "Oh, it's a woman? Hi, Taylor. Call me," and then just walked away. And it was so fucking funny, man. And I'm like, to this Theo guy, it's just anything he says is just electric. Fucking hilarious. And I absolutely love Theo Vaughn. Now, I'll be honest, the first thing that I wanted to bring up was the golf show. We are gonna just really recap.
Right.
But I would be an idiot to not ask you your thoughts on the college football playoff and kind of how things shaped out at the end. I mean, Georgia, they're not even 5. They got Georgia at 6. So kind of just, what are you thinking? What were your thoughts when you saw this stuff on Sunday?
Look, man, it was tough. It was really tough. Me and Pat were at the 2021 national championship game. We were there in Indy, and
2022 one.
And it was the greatest. It was the greatest sporting event I've ever been to in my life, and I've been to some good ones. The greatest one I've ever been to.
You've been to the Ryder Cup.
Been in the Ryder Cup, yeah, twice.
The Ryder Cup.
Been in the Masters dozens of times. Like
the Masters.
I left that night, and I said it, and I meant it, and I mean it now. If the Dogs never win another one in my lifetime, I don't know how that one could be topped after 40 years, my whole life of coming close, never getting over the hump, but being in the game, not getting there in the 2010s and stuff. I was satisfied, and I am. And then we did it again last year, and it was awesome. So, you know what, man? At the end of the day, I'm happy. Like, I'm a happy Georgia fan. It is what it is. I think because the way it all went down, we all knew that two teams were going to get the shaft. And when it happened the way it did, when Michigan did what they did and the Florida State won, I didn't really think Florida State was going to get in either way. But when we lost the way we did and Michigan obviously was going to, I was like, well, our only hope is like somehow Iowa finds a way to beat Michigan, which I didn't think was going to happen. I didn't think we were going to get it. Although it is crazy that, a team who's won 29 out of the last 30, lost by 3 on a neutral field, was number 1, gets bumped out of the discussion. I thought that was crazy. Everybody else thinks it's crazy that Florida State would be undefeated and a conference champion and not get in. I think that's less crazy, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, we're going to be in the playoffs for the next however many years, as long as Kirby's there with the system moving to 12
Yeah.
teams.
Yep.
So it is what it is. I was pretty beat up about it Saturday night a little bit. I was kind of down the rest of the night. But I wake up Sunday and I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't love it. Probably not going to watch a lot of the games, but I'm fine.
You're not going to watch a lot of the college football playoff games?
No.
What?
No. I don't watch college football unless it's Georgia. I don't watch another team unless it's Georgia. I don't do that. It's not like the NFL for me. I don't do that. I won't bet them. I won't watch them. I mean, I'll check. I'll look at scores. I'll do that. And I am a Georgia fan and I've seen some dissenting agreements about this. Like, I'm pulling for Bama.
Okay, I was going to ask you: are you pulling for the SEC to bring home another one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty ride or die SEC. So I mean, I'm going to pull for the SEC to continue to dominate and shit all over probably Michigan. And I mean, if I'm going to be out of it, like, I mean, I would rather Alabama go run through these teams and show that they're a different team. I mean, that's what I kept saying to a lot of people is like, listen, Alabama's a different team they were when they lost to Texas. And we were a different team. We were better than we were first part of the year. A lot of teams are, like,
for sure.
The season tells a story. That's what I kind of didn't like about these people saying, like, well, the games don't matter if Texas beat Bama. When people are talking about, like, Texas maybe getting left out. Well, the games don't matter, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, they do, but they're just a small part of the story, and the story is being written all year. And when the time comes to make the decision of who's in the playoff, you're looking at the end of the story. Based on the end of the story, based on the end of the book, here's what the team looks like. Here's who they are. And so the games do matter because they help you write the story and they help you get to the end. But you're a different team. Alabama was a different football team. Jalen Milroe was a different quarterback playing against us than he was against Texas. And I bet you he will be in the playoffs. And Nick Saban, seemingly had some troubles with that team and managing that team in the beginning and figured that out. That's not what Michigan, Texas, and Washington want to see. So, the story does matter. The games matter and the season matters. It's not so black and white. Texas beat them, therefore, boom. That's kind of how I look at it. But it was all over Twitter. Good Lord. Between that and the golf ball rollback argument, my Twitter feed is just
oh, man. It must be
take after take.
An absolute shambles. And the committee, was sitting there begging. They were like, okay, maybe Texas won't blow out Oklahoma State. It'll give us a reason to not let them in. And then hopefully Florida State loses to still eliminate that. And then hopefully Oregon wins. And it's also a short game. And then they could have potentially let in. It could have been Michigan, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State. And that would have been the greatest college football playoff send-off in the history of ever. Because they would have set it up probably as Michigan 1, Bama 2, Ohio State 3, Georgia 4. And that's probably what they would have done. And then they would have basically given us another SEC championship game and another Big Ten championship game on the way out the door. And it would have been the greatest thing of all time. Now, this was only something that I was dreaming of. So I knew that it wasn't going to be a possibility to come to true life. But the only way it was possible is if Oregon won a small game, barely won, and if Texas barely won, because then it would give you the real reason to be like, okay, well, you could argue Ohio State played the hardest schedule in college football, played the hardest schedule in the country. Alabama played the second hardest schedule in the country. Georgia played, I think, the 7th, and that's what ultimately got Georgia kicked out was because strength of schedule. Just
and on the FSU thing, like, I'm actually kind of an FSU. I like FSU. I grew up, like, when I was younger in the 90s, I was a huge Braves fan, right? We talked about this, my baseball, Deion played on the Braves in the 90s. And I would follow Georgia football and Florida State football as a kid because of Deion played at Florida State. And so I kind of had some affection for Florida State, but I in no way did I think Florida State should be in that playoff because, and I mean, listen, it sucks. It sucks for them that that's the case.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, but like barely beaten. I watched the entire Florida State Louisville game.
Okay.
Winning that game by 10 points.
Insane.
Like, that was an awful game.
Yes.
Nobody wants to watch it. And I understand that they deserved it thing. But you can't, and these people saying like that it's one player. It's one player, Jordan Travis being out. I'm sorry, but It's the most important position in any sport. The quarterback is the most important position. Who wins the Heisman every damn year? What position do they play? The damn quarterback. That's because it matters a lot. And so, yeah, you talk about the story. Well, you were building a fantastic story. Unfortunately, your main character and the protagonist in the story and the hero in the story got his leg bent backwards. He's out. Now the end of your book sucks. And it's not. It just is what it is. Like I was not a fan of FSU going in at all, and I figured they wouldn't. I didn't think the committee was going to put him in either, because
I actually thought the committee might have put him in, and we were going to have ourselves a TCU 2.0, but even worse because they don't have a quarterback, and not only do they not have their backup quarterback, they are using their third string quarterback right now, and the backup might have not even been able to play. Who knows? I don't know if he's going to play in the game against Georgia, but I'm sure that you saw what the spread is against Georgia. If you didn't, it's 12 and a half. And it's going to probably skyrocket past 14.
And I mean, look at the reaction, the video that went around about Michigan when they reacted to Alabama being last. I mean, that's how the spreads and the reactions of those players tell you everything you need to know.
Yes.
Freaking Washington, Texas, and Michigan all wanted it to be Florida State. Why? Because they knew they'd thump them. Like, this is not, it's not hard. So if that's the case, like, I get it if you're a Florida State fan, I get it. But if you're not a Florida State fan and you can't see that, I can't help you. I don't know what's.
No, exactly. But we unfortunately, we have some.
And Jordan Travis is like a good kid, man. Like I have mad respect for how that dude has handled the injury to be such a young kid. A devastating injury in the midst of a great season. He looks like a stand-up kid, and I hope he comes back, and I hope he's great. But
100%.
Sorry, man, this is not it.
It just really, it's just a really shitty situation, and it sucks to be Florida State. I kept seeing people with signs that kept going around, and it said, "If we like win and we're in," and I'm just like, these people are about to be so heartbroken when they wake up tomorrow because they are not going to let them. There's no plausible situation where you could have said they were one of the 4 best teams in the country. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now we'll move on now right after this. I just got to ask you, so who's going to win the national championship game?
I think it's going to I just think it's going to be Bama. They're not the same Bama that they have been over the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years, but I think they're still good enough. And I mean, Nick Saban in the playoffs, I don't know. He does the damn thing. I believe in either them or Texas. I think Michigan's not it. And honestly, Washington's the team I've not seen any of. Like I literally have seen nothing of Washington.
Well, that's because the Pac-12 is ran by I don't know, a brain-dead goldfish. It's ran by a brain-dead gold. Imagine doing a deal where Pac-12 games are nowhere to be found. They're nowhere to be found. Oh, unless you pay for the Pac-12 network. Bro, I'm not paying for the Pac-12 network, bro. Put the Pac-12 network where everything else is. Put it under the Hulu umbrella or put it under the YouTube umbrella. But do not, when you're your own thing, nobody's going to watch you. Nobody. They blew it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's our last year. We don't have to worry about it again. Now, I think going forward, we have the Pac-2 as of right now for next year, I believe. So, we'll see if they get their own Pac-2 network maybe next year. Or maybe they'll, go to ESPN Plus or do literally anything else than what they did
maybe
this
they go
year.
to CW like Liv.
Oh, wait, who else with the CW? Fucking Barstool did, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They're going to be doing their football game on CW.
That's right.
CW's come. Is CW back?
CW never left.
Yeah, some would say. I mean, they still have Buffy the Vampire.
That's what someone's saying.
When we were growing up, what were we watching on CW?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Sarah Michelle Gellar still slaps.
Give me some other ones.
One Tree Hill, Dawson's Creek.
No, none of these are ringing any bells.
What's the one? The Superman one, Smallville. That one slapped back in the day.
That doesn't feel like an old show though.
That's
I remember seeing Smallville. I'm talking about like when I was like 10 years old. What was I watching on CW? It feels like it was like cartoons even. Like maybe I don't know either though. I could be totally wrong. Like What was like fucking Hey Arnold?
I was into Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's what I was into.
Well, Everybody Hates Chris was on CW.
Everybody hates Chris.
I don't know that one.
What?
I don't know that one.
Everybody Hates Chris. Stop it.
No. No.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Anything else, Bryce?
That's the only one you would know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess moving on from CW talk in college football talk, which by the way was great, and I was very excited to wait. What was it? Chris Rock?
What?
That wasn't Chris Rock. Is Larry lying? Larry's lying. Larry's lying through his teeth. That wasn't Chris
Yeah.
Rock. I know it wasn't Chris. I know it wasn't Chris Rock. It was what was the thing that he would always say before we move on? What was the thing? What was like the go-to line in Everybody Hates Chris? There was a line. There was something. There was a line. Do you know it, Bryce? Are we figuring it out? Maybe is there anything lurking behind there on the ones and twos? We find anything because it blows my mind that someone, whatever. All right, fine. Maybe you just haven't seen it. I don't know. It blows my mind that I've seen Everybody Hates Chris and you haven't. Bryce, you about to say something or no?
There's nothing to say because there's no line.
Okay, all right. We're moving on from this because Bryce, you don't even know Everybody Hates Chris, and it's absolutely it's
shame on you,
disgusting.
Bryce. Shame on you.
It was one of the late night shows that I would watch. Okay. Oh, sorry.
It is Chris Rock. By the way.
What?
It is Chris Rock, by the way.
No way. Everybody Hates Chris?
He was a narrator.
Oh, that makes more sense. I was gonna say there ain't no fucking way that kid was
Tyler James Williams was the Chris.
Oh, Tyler James Williams.
You don't know who that is.
No, probably hasn't done anything else since. I'm sorry. I was a little speechless, a little taken aback because I just had this thing pop up. Certain odds makers, and I don't know who the fuck these certain odds makers are. It must be just a bunch of brain dead morons. But they said that the 49ers are 5-point favorites against anybody in the NFL.
I mean, they just beat the best team in the NFL, the Eagles.
Well, that's debatable. I think the Eagles were not the best team in the NFL, but that's fine.
I mean, your Dolphins. I'm sorry, buddy. Your Dolphins have not beat great teams.
We've only had 2 opportunities to do it.
Yeah.
We've played 12 games and only 2 of them have been above against teams above 500. That's not our fault.
You know what I think is crazier than that? I saw this going around Twitter today. I was like, is this real? Is Brock Purdy seriously the NFL MVP favorite right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. That blows me. That blows me away. The guy's fine. I like Brock Purdy. Seems like a good dude. Yeah. Also seems like a complete, like, elite game manager. He's
great. Yeah.
His pass, even the other night when I was watching the game, like, I mean, a couple of his he made some good throws, don't get me wrong, but a couple of them were literally just short passes or screens to Deebo Samuel, who then did the rest of it himself. He makes a living doing it to Christian McCaffrey in the short passing game. Like, I don't understand how Brock Purdy, of all people, could be an MVP. And the favorite is unreal.
Yeah, no, I mean, the favorite should be, I'm not saying Tua Tagovailoa, but it should definitely be Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek should be in the top 3, I would say, for sure. And
he's about to have,
I would put him ahead of Brock Purdy for him.
The greatest season of any wide receiver ever.
Yeah.
It's absolutely going to be insane. DGen, you in the comments, AFC runs through the Ravens. I'm not even going to let you get me going on thinking that the Ravens run the AFC because it's just simply not true. And I can't wait till we play the Ravens. But we play the Ravens in Baltimore, and what we're going to do to them there is going to be illegal in certain countries.
Right now it's Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy are both plus 300 to win MVP.
Disgusting. Well, Dak's
had a good year, but
Dak's been going crazy.
MVP favorite? Is that
Dak's been going crazy, and it should prove to you that Purdy doesn't belong there because Dak has done things way better than Brock Purdy has. Just saying.
With less weapons. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's awesome, but
CeeDee Lamb's great.
I mean, Pollard's fine. Pollard's good, but he's not Christian McCaffrey.
Pollard's all right.
CeeDee Lamb is kind of on an island. I mean, he doesn't have George Kittle, Debo, and Brandon Ayuk.
He's throwing to a washed-up Brandon Cooks who has 0 yards every other week. Yep. And he's throwing to motherfucking, what's his name?
Jake Ferguson. the tight end.
Well, Jake Ferguson's not a
He's
bad
young,
tight
yeah,
end,
he's
but
not
I
bad.
mean, he's just your average, like,
Yeah.
very solid tight end.
Yeah.
Why am I forgetting the other wide receiver for the Cowboys?
Because he's been forgettable. I keep
Jalen Brooks, Brandon Cooks,
No. No,
Turpin,
Brandon Cooks
Gallup.
number 3.
Gallup,
Well,
Michael
Turpin,
Gallup.
whatever. Michael Gallup. Yeah. Michael Gallup hasn't really been
Nothing.
shit.
Yeah.
So it's like insane what Dak Prescott's been doing, and I love Dak Prescott. And DGen you saying until then it's the Ravens to lose. If the season were to end today, the Ravens don't get it. The Chiefs don't get it. No, the Bengals don't get it. No one get it. The Dolphins have the first round bye, okay? Not the Ravens. So, no, it's not the Ravens' division to lose. It's our division to lose.
Speaking of first round bye, last night I did seal the first round bye in the playoffs and the overall first place money for my fantasy league at a 12-1 record right now. So I'm very excited.
First place, what?
We give out first place regular season money and then Super Bowl winner and Super Bowl runner up money.
Okay. All right, that's
So lock
fine.
that up.
I
Lock that up.
I guess I don't hate that. In my biggest league, I'm not even trying to turn this into fantasy football talk, but I got to tell you something, DB. I'm a big fantasy football guy, and I'm very solid at it. And of all the years that I've been doing it, I went into the strategy, or I've kind of done it over the last 2 years, but I've never gone harder than at this team about it. And I went all wide receivers. Okay. I went wide receiver heavy instead of running back heavy. So my running backs right now are putrid in this league. I've never seen anything like it. It's Khalil Herbert and it's Chuba Hubbard. Those are my 2 starting running backs. Okay.
Yeah, Chuba ran good yesterday.
No, Chuba didn't have a bad game. Chuba has his ups and downs. Okay. Chuba has his ups and downs. But I have been legitimately winning games because I've got Tyreek Hill. I've got Pittman on the team. Honestly, just those 2 by themselves, week in, week out, go absolutely bananas. And I am on a 6-week win streak. I haven't lost in a month and a half. And it's because of my wide receivers. My running backs, and remember, Khalil Herbert just came off the IR. My running back before Khalil Herbert came back was like Jamal Williams, who was averaging 5 points a game. Like, I'm winning these games, and my running backs are scoring single-digit points. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my entire life. So I just wanted to point that out because you just made me think.
Good for us. We're doing good.
No, good for us.
That means I pocket some money to take to Tahoe for the big birthday celebration. I'm trying to win the whole thing so I can take a nice little hit to the, like, if I take down the whole league,
that would be really nice.
That'd be really nice.
I've got my birthday celebration coming up.
Do you? What are you gonna do?
Well, I got a couple of the boys flying out here.
Okay.
From the hometown.
Okay.
And we're gonna. I mean, I'll be honest, Stevie. All I want to do on my birthday, because I spent my birthday last year out here as well, and I wasn't able to gamble, and it killed me. It actually killed me inside. And I haven't gambled. I haven't put money in a slot machine or on a table.
Okay.
In 5-6 months.
Okay.
And
you're itching.
Dying.
Wait a minute. Weren't you just in Vegas for like forever? And that was not that long ago.
Yeah, that was like 4 months, 5 months ago, something like that at this point. No? How long ago was that, Bryce?
Yeah, it was like August, July at the latest.
September, I think.
So maybe September even. Yeah, it wasn't that long. It wasn't 6 months. It wasn't 5 months.
November. It was literally 2 months ago.
I mean, it was 3 months ago.
2.5 months.
It feels
not
like
even 3 months ago.
It feels like an eternity, okay? And so we have, a casino an hour away. It's all slot machines, though. All electronic.
Oh, God.
Well, listen, I got no choice, right? I just need, to essentially fuck something, right? I just need something to take my money or to let me win. I'm just so horny to gamble. So we're gonna go to this little shitty casino. It's an hour away, whatever, right? And we're gonna just, I don't know, lose $1,000 in slots. Then we're gonna come back. We're gonna go to Halls, right? Like the nicest spot to eat in Nashville, basically. Great steakhouse. I absolutely love it. We're gonna go pound some food there. And then, we're going to go to Barstool. We're going to absolutely party, get after it. Got a table already. We're just going to get after it with that. And then I think that I don't think I want to end my night at Barstool though, right? So I'm thinking around maybe like 12:31. We're gonna shift to Aldean's and hit that third level dance floor and just get after it to end the night. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
All deans. Every dean will be there. All the deans.
Damn.
All deans.
All deans.
All last
Aldeans.
All last deans will be there.
Dude, that's
and so that's kind of what I'm thinking about being there. White Coach Prime, funny to see you here. Haven't seen you in a while. Wonder who that is. Can I be in your entourage? Yes, you can be. DGen, DGen, are you even 21? No, DGen's 21. DGen's 21. DGen's right 22. College kid.
That's so bad.
Well,
that's
I mean, that doesn't stop us.
sounds like a great birthday celebration.
But no, I can't wait for it. Wish you could be there for it, but obviously you're a father of 2.
3, but
3. You're such a scumbag.
It's because I was messing with my buddies earlier because I got a buddy Mason. I call him every single time, and I got him to come out, right? And he's actually a father of 3, and I say the same shit to him. Father of 2. And, same reaction every time. I have 3 kids.
I mean, you don't even know if I can't make it. You haven't really invited me. You don't even know.
But the thing is, though, I said 12:31. We're gonna make our move to like Aldean's, and I know that by 12:31 you're not gonna be with us anymore, and I need you with me the whole night. There's no in and out, half in, half out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I need you with me the whole time. So I would love for you to come, DB, and join me for my whole day. It was gonna be great.
Yeah.
But
you're right.
Father of 3.
You're right.
Yeah, no, I mean,
now,
I didn't want to put you in that position.
Now, if you said the next day we were all going to get up and go play Troubadour.
Well, no,
that might work.
I haven't. Well, it is December, so I don't know if Troubadour is still kicking it right now. I mean,
probably.
Still...
I mean,
we have year-long golf here. Weather permitting.
I'm playing in a tournament this weekend and next weekend down here.
How'd that golf go with that one guy? So you played with someone from your Discord?
Yeah, it was cool, dude. It was really cool.
That'd be pretty sweet. How'd you pick that?
I didn't. He just, and I tell people this. I've told people this for years. Like, if you're coming through Augusta for whatever reason and you want to play, especially if you're a Discord member, hit me up. I'll take you to Champions. So he did. He was here for work, and he hit me up like 3-4 weeks ago, and I set it up. And I will say this: like, I've always wondered. Anytime that happens, like we're gonna meet a listener or a group of listeners or a follower or whatever, like you're always like, okay, there's a chance this dude's a weirdo, like Larry or something. There's a chance.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna be creepy and weird, or a little too, too much of a fan, or maybe just weird in general. And I gotta say, like, it's actually never happened. And we've done a lot. I've treated a lot of listeners to Golf at Champions over the years, and we've done events and stuff. Never. I mean, there's been a couple guys who are like screws loose in that dude's head, but cool guy nonetheless, like harmless, right? And this guy's name was Alex. We had a great time. He was a solid golfer. We had a great match. It was like a perfectly handicapped match. I gave him 2 shots, and I beat him by 2 shots on the strokes, but he won 2-1 on the match play because of how it all went down. And we just had a competitive match, and we had a great time, good conversation, had some beers, and perfect weather. It was great.
So I have to be in your Discord to.
No, not you, Bryce. You always have an invite. You just got to get down here.
Oh,
yeah, of course.
Well, after football season, me and Bryce have some plans.
There you go.
So maybe after football season we can try to squeeze Augusta.
Actually, we have no plans, which is the best.
Okay, no plans. But again, I brought this up before. I'm not trying to bring this up again. I'm trying to talk about the hero that happened this past weekend. Tiger Woods got 18th, and Scotty Scheffler ran away with it. But I want to go on a cruise, and I hate water. Is that crazy?
Nah, man. I mean, you can do a cruise without really water. I mean, you can't.
Yeah,
without you doing water, you could do it.
Now, side note, and this is behind the third wall.
Okay.
Behind the third wall.
Somebody's ringing our doorbell right now. Spam ringing our doorbell right now. And I'll be honest, no idea who that could be.
And you got to walk down a lot of stairs to get from where you are.
Yeah, no, 3 flights. And I'm telling you right now, when you get up here, so I'm on Nasty's show every day, and Bryce hits me up yesterday. He's like, hey, come up here real quick. So I come running up, and I had to be on Nasty's show right away.
You're out of breath.
I was out of breath.
You're gassed.
I mean, I was gassed, sprinting up I'm sitting here, Nasty. I'm like trying to hold it together. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm like, Bryce, I need like a good minute and a half to keep me prepared. But yeah, no, I don't know that I got distracted by that. Do we have any confirmation from maybe John?
I texted him and no text back, so we might be getting killed here any minute.
We're gonna go ahead and listen here.
But dude, if it happened live on the show, those things go viral. That could be good for
True,
SoBet
true.
if you guys got.
And plus, if Guy came up here, like he's gonna have to come up a staircase, which is like a funnel situation. And I mean, I'm like Spartan kicking him right back down.
He's gonna be out of breath too.
Oh yeah, he'll be out of breath when he gets up here. Trust me. And I'll be honest, it's a situation that I've waited my whole life for. So he doesn't know what he's coming in through.
I have like an over the top angle. Like he doesn't even know that I'm over here.
No.
I can push this monitor down.
Yeah. Right, start chugging shit. And you know, and listen, I'm not a guy who just gets in fights, but DB has heard me. Basically, I wanted to kill somebody that day. I mean, I was borderline like, I want to wait in this parking lot, and I want to beat this guy to a fucking, you know, like not a lot of people have ever heard me super like mad or like super like wanting to like beat somebody up. DB, one of the few. I mean,
I've heard it.
I didn't know who else to call in that situation. I got to call another golf guy. I got to call another golf guy that's like 40 years old that might like be like, hey, dude, maybe like don't beat up this old guy, even though he's an idiot. You know, he kind of deserves it, right?
Yeah, man.
But
I had confirmation of what it was.
What was it?
It was a guy selling magazines.
Magazines?
That's what he
Is
said.
it 1998? Magazines?
And again,
what about like an Encyclopedia Britannica? He got one of them?
Honestly, though, the area we live in, it could have been like magazines.
Dude, he's doing mobile yard sailing. He gathered up. He's short on cash. He needs some fentanyl, and he grabbed some old Playboys he had or something, and now he's just walking.
Right.
Oh.
Then there's 3 different magazines.
So there's multiple different types of magazines this could be.
Yeah.
Could also be a gun magazine, or
I don't think he's selling those.
Pew magazine. Well,
I don't think he's selling those.
Maybe if you went
not door to door, brother. Not door to door.
If you went like 2 blocks that way.
No, I know.
I
know, but I mean, door to door. You know, that's something you do in the dark, not in the middle of the day.
You'd be surprised. I've seen crazy.
But old nudie mags, you can do that in a day.
You can do that whenever you want. There's nothing wrong.
Now
with
you
that.
can. 2023.
Okay. Honestly, perfect timing because it's probably winter break. Parents are still working, so you get that little teenager market. Bingo, bango, bongo.
You know what? Maybe this is a fundraiser from the school up the street.
No.
This might have been a fundraiser from the school up the street, which I want to point this out. I don't really understand where this show is going right now, but there have been an absurd amount of people in Nashville asking for money to help with kids being bullied. I don't know what to do about it. Like, I almost feel bullied because it's every day, sir. Like, I help the kids, do the kids. And now every time I just go, look, I already gave you guys some fucking money. And then they're always like, oh, no, this is for a different school. How many?
Dude, I'd be like, listen, I'm pro bullying. I'm pro bullying. I think we should have more bullying because it would keep some of these whack ass kids from saying dumb shit and being dumb and saying this and doing that and turning into adults and, you know.
Yeah, catch me outside. How about
more
that?
people should be bullied.
I agree. Maybe is that a hot take?
No, I think I'm not the first person to say that. I think there's a comedian that just talked about that not that long ago.
Well, I think comedians can say whatever they want. They can say,
then I actually mean it. Like, I think bullying should be around a little bit. Like, that's you know, cultural norms, right? We tell you that your idea or what you're doing is dumb, really dumb, and you should stop it by making fun of you a little bit. So stop.
Sure. I couldn't agree more. Now 40 minutes into our golf show, I am going to ask you kind of just what your thoughts were on the Hero Challenge this past week in Tiger Woods' tournament. Obviously, our sweet prince, a.k.a. Bryce, actually. We've actually called this guy Bryce. We've joked for years, oh, hey, Bryce. Bryce, you got last place in the Hero Challenge this week. That kind of sucked,
My wrist hurt.
Your wrist. Wait a second. I think Will Zalator's wrists are probably fine at this point, no?
Yeah, but they're still a little sore.
Okay, all right, still a little sore, but everything's all right out there, or what? Okay, all right.
We'll get him next week.
Well, obviously, Scotty Scheffler wins shooting 20 under. Tiger Woods, up and down, even par. It was just up and down all week. Kind of what were your thoughts from just watching this tournament, seeing things? And obviously, like I said, Will Zalatoris getting last place, shooting 11 over and 81 day one.
Yeah.
In 81.
Listen.
What are kind of just your takeaways?
First off, on Willie Z, and I'll apologize to the SoBet family. I did throw a top 10 bet out there for Willie Z, thinking like, dang, like there's only 20 guys in the field. He's one of them. Tiger's another one. Like Morikawa was coming into this with some back issues. That joker lie. So I kind of thought, well, there's a few wounded walking around here, and Willie Z's excited to get back into it. His press conference on Wednesday sounded great, sounded excited. Then the broomstick putter images and videos started coming out during the practice round, and I'm like, yes, like that's what Willie Z needs. He remember, like he was a horrible putter, yippy as hell.
Yeah. Is this us? Oh, wait, this might not be us. No, this might be DB.
Oh, was it me?
It was you. It fucking was. I sat here in silence and didn't even move because I just figured it was us. And really, it was you.
I don't know.
How about that?
Well, anyway, where was I?
Well, you were talking about the sweet putter. We're getting to talk about the sweet.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the broomstick putter has helped so many guys who sucked at putting. That came out on Wednesday, and I was like, oh, God, yes, give it to me. Willie Z with the broomstick, yes. And then what did he do round one? He lost like 8 strokes putting with the broomstick and even looked yippy. He's the first person I've ever seen look yippy with a broomstick putter on the PGA Tour. It was awful. So, yeah, like I'm glad it was just a little sprinkle on Willie Z. Now we kind of know. I'm going to remind myself and everybody in January when he's playing again, like we got to wait and see. Like this needs to be a wait and see situation for a couple reasons. Number one, he's obviously still experimenting with the putting thing, and it's bad. It is really, really bad. And number two, a guy comes back from injury. He could take a while because he's changed his swing up a little bit. Now his swing didn't look bad. His ball striking wasn't bad, but it's just got to be a wait and see situation for him. So that's Willie Z. I thought that, of course, I hated it when Scheffler won because it's a favorite at 4-1 winning a golf tournament, which that's terrible. My boy Matt Fitzpatrick gave us a little bit of excitement. It's 16-1, but fizzled on Sunday and couldn't run down Scotty. Scotty's putter on the flip side from Willie Z looked fantastic, and that is dangerous. I mean, if we have a Scotty Scheffler neutral or gaining a little bit with the flat stick for 2024, like it's going to be another tough season for us golf bettors who don't like betting favorites because his ball striking is still just, I mean, this year it was the second best ball striking season, strokes gained off the tee and approach since they started measuring it, only to Tiger, and only by like a quarter of a shot. It's like Scotty from tee to green right now is just in a literal class of his own, even against John Rahm and Max Homa and JT and like all the best guys. Like he's just on another level. And if the putter can just be a little better, it's bad news. In terms of Tiger, first of all, he's yoked. Did you see did you see him?
Yeah. No, even when I saw the pictures from the press conference, I know he was sitting down and everything, but even just there was something about the look of him where I was like,
I saw a picture on Twitter earlier. I don't know if it was today or the other day, and I don't think it was doctored. Like it's him walking from like down the fairway face on, and I mean just absolutely jacked. But he looked fine. Like I'm encouraged because he said he felt fine afterwards. He felt like all that he was saying about being able to play basically an event every month felt real. So as long as it doesn't get worse and he continues to kind of listen to what he's doing with his body, like I think we might see Tiger 6 times next year, which would be awesome. So I thought that was really encouraging. That like very, very encouraging. Didn't sound like anything was worse. We didn't see him like limping around. He still hits it far enough and square enough to hang with the boys. So yeah, I think it looks good. And so he's got the PNC parent-child thing. I think it's next week with Charlie. We'll see him again. That'll be all over the internet.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully it's a bright spot in a otherwise really shitty golf news cycle right now.
Yeah, I wish if only we had something to take our mind off. Like for instance, if we had the fucking what's the league spot? I was trying to think of the league. I was trying to think of the league. What's the league called again? That got just absolutely
TGL.
destroyed. PGL.
TGL.
TGL. It would have been nice if we
What
had the
the hell is
T. It would
going
have been
on
nice
with
if we
me? Why
had.
am I like blurry?
You know, I was actually about to just ask. It
Oh,
threw me
down,
off a little
down
bit for a
here.
second, and then we're going back. I tell you what.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on over there?
I
Who's
tell you
behind the
what.
ones and twos over
Nobody,
there?
bro.
I
I
don't
need,
know.
Yeah,
You
I
talking
need
talk
about
somebody
they are-
behind the ones and twos, man. All right, go ahead.
is what's his face and his kid John Daly gonna win it? Did they
Oh,
win it last year, right?
Who did win it last year?
Wasn't it John Daly and his
I
kid?
don't know, but his kid's a stud. That dude's a stud.
how do like JT and his dad not win? Does dad just suck?
What? I mean, JT's kind of sucked lately, but he looks really good right now. He hit it really well at the Hero.
Did he just get like top 3 or
Yeah.
am I tripping?
I mean, he was
Was he second?
he was up there.
Was
I
it
don't know if
second?
was he second?
Who got second again? Well, I'm thinking it was JT.
A group of guys that were way behind.
17 or
Let
something.
me look.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I know JT shot pretty
Straka
well.
was second. JT was third.
Oh yes, Straka. That's what I was gonna bring up too. Was how about Straka? It's crazy how, like, even not just him, but even like Scheffler. It's crazy how good these guys are still hitting the ball, and just how well they're still playing. So, it's gonna be.
Didn't you make a future like video like 2 weeks ago, DB? What was that? Who was that England dude? Is that who we're talking about? You were gonna make a future bet on winning the Masters
on Ludwig Aberg.
Ludwig Aberg.
Yeah, he wasn't in the field. Yes.
Close.
Which now that number is down. I think it's half of what it was when I made that video, by the way.
And also, you asked for a bet for me, and I said Alabama to make the playoff. How about that?
Yeah.
How's your side do?
Max Homa did terribly. So,
Oh,
well, I mean, he finished. Yeah, he
Right,
finished
that's
13th out of 20. By the way, I did make kind of a funny video, but I was like half kidding last week on that. I tagged Sobet in about the whole like playing the hero with kids and a wife and responsibility at the Hero World Challenge. I don't know if you saw it, maybe not, but
yes.
I do want to say the top 3 finishers this past Hero, none of them have kids.
No kids.
So
Huh.
I think it was only 3 kids total between the last 6 winners of the Hero before this year. So now 3 kids total between the last 7.
So we need to like do a kids winning ratio.
I mean, if you got kids and you're coming to the Hero Hit and Giggle in the Bahamas with your family, you're not going to win. You might do fine. Tony Finau, 11-8 kids, finished 4th, right? But you're not going to win. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So,
Okay. Something to remember.
Yeah, something to remember.
Something to jot down for next year's Hero.
Mhm.
Or what would be on the same level as the Hero?
I mean, probably.
even know.
Well, I don't know. There's not really. It's like such a unique, weird event. 20 guys, like live basically is the closest thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Well, I guess
You know.
it's like well, that wouldn't be the same. No. We'll just go. Well,
So I think we
don't
got
know.
it. I don't know if this is on your list, but the John Rahm thing.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
I did right before the show. I texted a source very close to someone at a very high level at the PGA Tour about the John Rahm thing. He's given me some insight before, and he's never been wrong, but
Hey,
he might be wrong here.
are we hoping he's wrong here?
I think we're hoping he's wrong. He said that
No.
that his impression from the top of PGA Tour people is the Rahm stuff is all tabloid mess.
Oh,
But I don't know if that's true. I think there's a ton of smoke from this fire. I think there was a telling thing that happened in the press conference last week at the Hero. They asked Jordan Spieth about it, and Spieth made a comment. He said something like, "Yeah, there's a handful of guys that are talking to Rahm, like trying to basically talk him out of it, or
trying to talk him off the bridge.
understand," which indicates obviously there's a serious consideration going on. No one has said that before that, and the fact that Rahm has not dismissed the rumors. So, like earlier in the year, he was pretty quick to dismiss rumors, and he was pretty quick to chime in. Could it be that he's just shutting off all the noise and saying, "I'm taking my time off. I don't care. Like, let them all get caught up in the rumor. I'm going to stay where I'm at." I don't know, but it definitely feels like he could shut this down quite easily if he wanted to, and he's not. Uh,
Do you think there's some golfers that are just sitting there that are just low key like, yes, please leave so I can have a better chance at winning?
I don't know. I mean, I think if he leave, if because to me, Rom is a major, major player in this thing. Like to me, that is
Yeah.
a far bigger blow than the tour losing Phil or Brooks or Bryson. Even, I mean, I think even I mean, I think so. I think he's up there with like just below like Rory, and I guess if you want to count Tiger, like Rory, and he's up there with like the Rory Spieth category. So I think if he leaves, it's going to be interesting, and I guess Liv is probably leveraging him leaving in their negotiations with the tour to make sure this agreement gets done and gets pushed through. I think if he does leave, it means the tour has lost like so much in him leaving that they would almost be forced to sign the deal with the PIF and make the arrangement.
Right.
But I mean, worst case scenario is he leaves and the two sides still don't figure it out, and the tour gets pissed and they figure out something else, and the game remains fractured. Like at this point, like I'm not an anti-live guy. I mean, we do live
Yeah.
content. I bet on live. I've been to live events, but the fracturing is getting old, and the drama between the two and the miscalculation after miscalculation in terms of how the PGA Tour is being run is, to me, just absolutely ruining all the great momentum that golf had coming out of COVID. We had all these eyeballs during COVID as the only sport really, us and like UFC, that was going on. The tour was in a great spot. It gets fractured, it gets disrupted, which I'm not against disruption. But now it's like, damn, like I'm just ready for it all to be done. Like let's move on. Let's let these two play together and mix it up a little bit and figure it out together. But the last thing we want is John Rahm back on Live Island and live in the PGA Tour not doing their thing. I think that's bad.
No, it's kind of what it seems like it's going to be too. And it's going to suck if he leaves, especially in some of those big tournaments, like just not seeing John Rahm up there. But I mean, at the end of the day, it would open up the door at least for more young talent to come in and hopefully just create another John Rahm. I guess probably what fucking Manahan, it's probably what they're almost just hoping at this point is that something else can happen, because I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do.
I don't think that can be part of their strategy at all. I mean, Ludwig is the guy right now, which is fantastic, but I mean, it takes years for a guy like that to build up the reputation that a guy like John Rahm has. So you can't just pop a new John Rahm out of thin air. He's going to take years to develop, and John is still really freaking young. He's the Masters champion. He's really young. He appeals to a group of fans outside of the U.S. He's a Ryder Cup stalwart. Like he is a big loss to the tour, not easily replaceable. So I think if he jumps, I don't know, man. I think the tour's already at a place you could argue where they have no other choice. They're not getting other outside money that gets them what they need or what they're asking for in terms of cash. They're not getting it because they probably don't deserve it at this point. They don't have they're not going to be able to draw the eyeballs. So I think they have to do the agreement with the Saudis. I think they have to, or else the league is going to die. They're going to be dead.
They're going to slowly just keep losing more and more talent.
And honestly, if you're John Rahm, and you're getting $300 to $600 million, which is the range that's been thrown out there, if you're getting that kind of money now, and there's a high chance that if you take that money, that's going to be the final domino to fall for the PGA Tour to go ahead and sign the agreement with Liv, number one. Well, guess what? Now you get the best of both worlds. You just got $300 to $600 million, and give it a little bit, play on Liv for a year exclusively, wait till the agreement gets done and finalized, and then they do merge, and now you're still right back playing the PGA Tour events you want to play.
Right, especially all the big
And
ones.
then if you don't take the money from Live Now and you wait it out and you turn down that money and you don't get that money, but then a month from now, the PGA Tour and Live sign a deal. Well, guess what? Live's not going to offer you $600 million anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, he's sitting there thinking, like, I don't want to be left looking like a ding dong if I don't do this. And in a month, they're merged.
Is there a world where somehow the PGA is like, we will offer you 200 million lump sum to stay here, or are they too like deep?
They don't have it. They don't have it. They don't have it.
They just don't have the money, huh? What if? Oh man, I don't know.
Now, the tour has been dependent on guys like Rory, Spieth, Rahm, JT, Max Homa, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, Scotty Scheffler. The tour has been dependent on those guys not putting the money first, because every one of those guys, every one of them, could go to Live for an insane amount of money that the PGA Tour could not afford to give them. Dang sure couldn't afford to give them all. So the tour has been tethered to those guys, putting the PGA Tour and the aura of the tour and the you know, all the mushy feelings of winning Bay Hill and getting Arnie's sweater put around your chest when you win, and like
always comes back to Arnie's sweater.
Yeah, and like doing all these things out of historic relevance and you know, and doing the right thing, for taking the high moral ground. Like, that's what they've been dependent on for these guys to stay. But then when they announced the thing on June 6th, and then all the moral reasoning kind of gets tossed for the most part, because now the tour is doing the same thing they told you not to do, or willing to do the same thing they told you not to do. But they don't have any more money. They don't have any. They've not made any more cash since this, and I think they've entertained investors, but I don't think it's been enough, one side or the other or both, to walk away from this possible PIF deal. So
yeah, I agree. And actually, so Spaz in the comments actually just asked like an interesting question. If every one of the top 50 golfers went to Live, do you still want to watch it overnight when they tee it up in Dubai? Now, I don't know what percentage of tournaments they do actually in Europe. I think majority of them are in America. No.
Yeah, and shout out Spaz. He's a TJ guy. Helps run our Discord. Great dude. Very.
Oh wait, no, I know Spaz.
Yeah, very sharp.
I know Spaz. Shout out Spaz.
And so, yeah, no, I think most of them are not overseas. I think it's maybe 60-40 or 65-35 US based, because I mean that's the biggest audience is going to be your US audience. But there it would be more. It seems like we're if you're reading the tea leaves, it's a little more closer to a global tour where there are some events in different spots. And honestly, I mean, Spaz probably knows the answer to this question, but probably not a ton, not as much as I would watch it if obviously I could turn it on a Saturday and Sunday afternoon and, you know, watch it in the middle of the spring and summer when all it's on is like baseball. And, you know, like, so that is true. I don't think as many people in the US would watch it as often, but.
Well, unless you basically just train them to watch recorded golf like we already do.
We do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You watch recorded golf?
What do you mean?
On what? Where? Who?
This happened a moment
ago. Are you talking about YouTube?
Well, no, but I'm talking about, well, YouTube's definitely part of it, but most talk about like, and this happened a moment ago. Michael Black hole in one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, it's not the same thing, but because obviously it could get ruined on social media a lot easier. Yeah. But still, I mean, like, I feel like there's a world where you could just kind of like brainwash Americans into watching it again, just record it again.
They released the schedule for 2024.
All right, read that off before we hop off.
Mexico, Las Vegas, Jeddah, Hong Kong, Florida, Australia, Singapore, Houston, Nashville, Valderrama in Spain, England, West Virginia, and then Chicago and Dallas.
I would love to know where the Nashville one is, because a lot of the courses that I've played in Nashville, even the nice courses, are not that
It's great. At the Grove.
The Grove. Never played it. So I got no opinion. But that'll be interesting.
Dude,
wow.
we should try to go to that. What's the date on that?
No, we'll definitely go to that.
What's the date on that, Bryce?
It is. Let me go back to it.
Be early.
It was like middle of the year, so.
Oh, well.
It's going to be
April,
June 21st to the 23rd.
June 21st, 23rd. That's my anniversary. Shout out.
shout out.
Bring the wife.
That is during the Travelers, which is on the PJ Tour, which is in Connecticut, and that is a signature event. So you'll have the best players on the PJ Tour playing the week after the U.S. Open at a signature event, and then you'll have Live in Nashville.
If I remember correctly, someone actually just talked to me about the Grove. The Grove is like a very gated community that all the country singers live in. If I'm thinking of the right community.
Okay. All right. Sure. I got no idea.
Jelly Roll tried to get a house there and got rejected because he has a felony.
What?
Really?
Jelly like that?
Yep.
Oh.
Dang.
Well, listen. Yeah. They don't fuck around. I will say, though, Jelly wanted that gravy. Or he wanted that dressing. That dressing on Thanksgiving. Did you see that? Waited till the last day to ask for it. Wife been on his ass about it. He made a TikTok about it, and he got that dressing.
Okay.
Larry with a very underrated comment, by the way.
What'd he say?
I played it last week, and it's Pasco. So you played the Grove, Larry? Yes, on Tiger Woods 2013.
Okay, all right. And that's where we'll end the show. That's where we'll end the show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the show. Shout out Spaz. Shout out Larry. And by the way, shout out some of the guys in the Discord. I've been talking it up with some of the boys in the TJ Discord because we didn't have any we didn't do a SoBet Saturday last Saturday either. I should have just voluntarily came in and just did it. I should have just did it.
Well, I mean, Thanksgiving, we didn't know if
no, 100%, but the couple of guys that reached out to me, it made me almost feel bad where I'm like, well, fuck, and good for them. No, I went 7-2. So I was just dishing out winners to the boys in the TJ court, just dishing them out. Dude. Like candy, like free turkeys.
I love it, man. Thank you for what you do there, Gussie. Thanks for doing that.
That's what I do. I try to do what I can for the TJ Discord.
It's a great community, and the SoBet Saturdays have been fantastic.
It's too bad they're dead now.
They're dead now. We can't get another one this week.
What the fuck?
Army Navy.
What?
Army Navy.
We'll do it for the NFL. We'll do it for the NFL.
Oh, we could do it for the NFL. Actually, I think we should do that for the NFL.
Yeah,
because the people in TJ Discord, they like it.
Yeah,
so, I like it. I like talking to the people when it's me. Not that I'm saying it'll be me again. I mean, but if it was me, shout out to everybody. All right, we'll figure it out later. Thank you everybody for tuning in, though, and we will talk to you guys